Hello everyone, this is Gundam Ace, aka John Hooper, and we're here to continue my streaming of Secret Game Killer Queen. When we last left off, a bunch of things happened. Soichi and Sakumi found out that Hazuki had died from the attack from Goda. They had a near encounter with Nagasawa. They found a gun. And they heard gunshots and saw Reika kill a girl named Karin. And then they met up with Fumika and Nagisa before it was revealed that Fumika has the 6 and that Sakumi actually has the queen, but since Soichi refuses to kill anyone, he refuses to kill her in order to fulfill his release conditions. So now we're just going to try to figure out how to keep on going now they've reunited, I suppose. Also, they made a deal with another player named Takayama to meet up 2 hours before the game ends in case they can't remove their collars to see if they can get their collars off. So we're going to continue from here now. Alright, and here we go. The group's PDAs all beeped before they even noticed. See? Didn't I tell you so? The screen said that the 3rd floor had become a forbidden area. Sakumi puffed her cheeks as she showed that to the rest of the group. Sorry, Nagisa, but it really was 9 hours, huh? Fumika raised her hands and apologized with a slightly impatient look on her face. Jeez, didn't I tell you? Nagisa's anger was not quelled. Just when the group had been about to move out again once day came, Nagisa said it was almost about time for the 3rd area to become a forbidden area. 3rd floor to become a forbidden area. She'd been watching the times where the 1st and 2nd floors had become forbidden areas. Apparently there was a 9-hour gap between each. And it had almost been 9 hours since the 2nd floor became a forbidden area. So she figured the 3rd floor would be soon to follow. But given Nagisa's general airhead state, Fumika had been dubious about her claim. Now, calm down, Nagisa. Then that means that the 4th floor that we're on now will become a forbidden area in another 9 hours? Fumika nodded. I think so, probably. However, we're not the ones who make the rules, so it could be 6 hours for all we know. Yeah, we can't be very optimistic here. Soichi put away his PDA. We'll be in danger unless we get upstairs. But we want to get our collars off first because it's dangerous if we go upstairs. What a troubling dilemma. The group had all revealed their release conditions to each other. Soichi was the ace, Sakumi was the queen, and Fumika was the 6. I'll be fine as long as I stay with Sakumi, right? Nagisa tilted her head as she held her PDA in her hands.
それを失敗すると大変なことになるから気をつけて。
That's right. You'll be in big trouble if you fail that, so be careful. Okay. And last but not least, Nagisa's PDA was the Jack. She had to stay with someone else for 24 hours or more, and that person had to be alive at the 71-hour mark. That was Nagisa's release condition. So it was only natural to pair Nagisa with Sakumi. With the exception of Soichi, who was a lost cause, both Sakumi and Nagisa would spend over 24 hours together, while they would look for the Joker PDA for Fumika. Sakumi would also be able to get her own color off in the 71-hour mark. So they would evade the forbidden areas while looking for the Joker. He wasn't Fumika, but Soichi thought it was a rather harsh condition. On top of that, the upper floors were supposed to be even more dangerous. The weapons kept increasing with each floor they climbed. Let's do our best, everyone. But when he saw Sakumi smile, Soichi felt a strange sense of motivation welling up in him. It's Tezuka, isn't it? The reason they'd been able to find Tezuka first was because of a mock GPS software that had been installed into Fumika's PDA. That function showed the current position and any sign of movements on the map. Thanks to that, it took a lot less time to read the map. They could find out the current position just by looking at the map, and so they didn't have to remember where they were going every single time they moved. Thanks to that, they were able to save a lot of time. As a result, the group knows Tezuka first. I wonder what he's muttering about. Tezuka was leaning against the wall in the hallway, muttering something to himself. There was quite a large difference between them and Tezuka, so he hadn't noticed them. It sounds like he's talking about a girl or something. You can hear him, Sakumi? Yes, but please be quiet for a little while. Sakumi cupped her ear and closed her eyes. Soichi and the others closed their mouths so they wouldn't interrupt her. I've got it. Sakumi opened her eyes after a brief silence. Her face looked a bit troubled. What's wrong? Well, it seems there's actually a little girl on this floor. A little girl? Yes. Tezuka is apparently planning to capture her because she's an easy target. He also said something about killing her. Is that girl also a player? Does she have a collar? It seems that way, judging from what Tezuka said. Sakumi nodded with a complicated expression. It was then that Soichi felt like he finally realized why Sakumi had been had an unusual look on her face for a while now. I see. You want to go save her, don't you? Sakumi turned to Soichi and gave him a little smile. Yes. What Sakumi was worried about was what Sakumi was worried about was if they'd end up having to stay on this floor for a long time if they went looking for the girl. They weren't exactly sure when this floor would become a forbidden area. If it was the same as the other ones, they still had about 8 hours left, but they didn't know if that was the case. What's more, Tezuka was also wandering this floor in search of the girl. They'd be in danger if they stayed on this floor for too long. Plus, the stairwell they needed to get up to the next floor was just a short distance away. The stairwell was exactly opposite from Tezuka, from what Soichi and the rest of the group could see. To go looking for the girl would mean passing by the staircase. But Sakumi wanted to save her. She wanted to do for someone exactly what Soichi had done for her. I agree. No need to be so reserved, Sakumi. I want to go save her too. Fumika and Nagisa were quick to agree. Are you sure about this, everyone? I hate bullies. Nagisa gave Tezuka's direction a glare. That's right, and besides, I admit that there's also I want to check because there's a possibility that that girl has the Joker PDA. So I'm just doing it for my own interest. Don't worry about it too much. Fumika smiled. You're such a bad liar, Fumika. Soichi muttered that when he saw Fumika smile. Soichi also smiled. You just want to save her, that's all. Fumika's not that cold-hearted of a person. That was what Soichi had determined from her from the time they spent with each other so far. And there goes my attempt to play the cool big sister type. I hate you, Soichi. Fumika sulked, as everyone else smiled. However... Oh, Tezuka's... Sakumi's... everyone's faces froze at Sakumi's voice. Soichi looked back in Tezuka's direction to see him picking up his belongings and moving in the opposite direction from Soichi's group. He had a hiking machete, a submachine gun, a pistol, and a large knife. If they were to come in contact with him, they'd be in big trouble. Soichi couldn't hide his tension when he saw those weapons he had. But they couldn't just leave him alone either. He was using those weapons to chase after that little girl.
じゃま
After
た
all.
後で来るわね階段くん
Well, see you again later, Mr. Staircase. Fumika gave the stairwell a wave and started walking at the head of the group. Nagisa started walking right next to her. Let's go, Sakumi. Right. Then Soichi and Sakumi. They nodded at each other and followed after Fumika and Nagisa.
今日の俺はついてるぜ。
Man, luck's just on my side today. Tezuka's typical chilling smile rose to his face.
獲物が次々と向こうからやってきやがる。
My prey just keeps falling in my lap one after another. Prey. That was Tezuka's term for players who had what he needed for this game. Tezuka's PDA was a 10. He needed to activate 5 collars need to be activated for him to remove his collar. In other words, it was a harsh condition that required the deaths of a 5.
月がありすぎて怖いぐらいだ。
Even I'm scared by my own luck. No, even I'm scared by how open they are. But Tezuka had already completed half of his condition without barely even lifting a finger. First, there was the plump man. The man who'd broken the rules and died. Tezuka had already finished 1/5 of his condition before he even knew all the rules. Next was a slender middle-aged man. He'd been sitting dead on the second floor staircase. Tezuka had plugged his own PDA into the man's collar. Then the man's collar started flashing and with a voice coming out and announcing a rule infraction. The third was a girl who appears to have been killed in a firefight. She was dead, so she'd proven no resistance. It'd been a piece of cake to activate her collar.
あとはあのガキを捕まえればもう4つ目ってことだな。
Once I catch that kid, there'll be 4 already. Tezuka couldn't stop laughing. 3 collars have been activated. The girl he'd seen as almost immediately after getting up to the 4th floor had been surprisingly fast, and he'd lost sight of her once already. But in the end, she was still a kid. She was running right into a dead end. It was only a matter of time before he caught her. He'd have 4 collars activated without barely doing a thing.
最後は長沢の小僧だ。あのでかい男を相手にするのは面倒だし、三剣たちは数も不合の衆では武器を持ったのをやってくる。
I guess I'll go for the Nagasawa kid last. That big guy's too much to handle, and Mitsurugi's group has advantage in numbers. They're a bunch of idiots, but they're too dangerous now that they're armed. By this point, Tezuka was certain of his own victory.
ここが運命の分かれ道ってことかしらね
Guess this is what they call the crossroads of fate, huh? Soichi's group had chased after Tezuka, but then they'd ended up at a fork in the path. To be exact, there was a T-junction that was right in front of them. Tezuka had turned to the right. Would Soichi's group chase after him, or would they go check out the other hallway? Either path led to a dead end. The hallways were complicated because they were shaped like a labyrinth, but in the end there was still nowhere to run. So if they picked the wrong path, the girl could very well end up dead.
手塚さんも問題の女の子がどこにいるのかなんてわからないんですよね。
Tezuka doesn't know where that girl is either, right?
多分そのはずだけど。
Probably not, but
だったら手塚さんを追いましょう。そうすれば女の子が襲われていても助けられるかもしれません。
let's go after Tezuka. That way, even if he attacks the girl, we can still save her, possibly. Sakumi jumped to conclusions.
でもそうすると手塚くんと出くわす可能性は大きくなるし、女の子が反対側にいたらどこか行ってしまって振り出しに戻るかもしれないわ。
That'll increase our chances of bumping into Tezuka, and if the girl went in the other hallway, then we'll just end up right where we started without knowing where she is.
けれど今その子は危険なのかもしれないんです。
But she might be in danger right now. Fumiko was worried about their group bumping into Tezuka. Sakumi was worried about that girl getting caught by Tezuka. Either way, they had to make a decision and fast. There's one more plan. We outnumbered Tezuka, so why don't we split up in two groups of two? Soichi came with a compromise. One group would chase after Tezuka, while the other would check the other hallway. If there were traps and other enemies other than Tezuka lying in wait, then it was a bad idea. But right now, for the group whose priority was to secure the girl before Tezuka got to her, it was the most effective choice. It was possibly the most effective choice they had.
二手に分かれるって言っても組み合わせはどうするの、ソイチ君。
If we're gonna go split into two groups, then how are we going to divide them up, Soichi? You and I will go after Tezuka. Sakumi and Nagisa will check out the other hallway. The two of them need to stick together for Nagisa's clear release condition, so I think that'd be the best choice. I see. So you're saying the two most unfit for combat away from danger, aren't you, Soichi? That did indeed lower the risk than if they all went after Tezuka together,
あとは
but
レイカさんたちがこの辺にいないかどうかよね。
there's also the problem if Reika or the others are around here, right? All we can do is hope we don't run into them. But this place isn't very well suited for an ambush. I think if they were to pick an ambush, Reika and Nagasawa would go with a better place. This area was right at the edge of the map, and so the odds of meeting people were low. So there wasn't much benefit in searching the area or waiting in ambush. Reika and Nagasawa should be more logical than that. That was what Soichi believed. He's got a point. And it's not like we'll be apart for long either way. Fumika made up her mind.
そうしましょう、ソイチ君。それでいいわね、さくみちゃん、渚さん。
Let's go with that, Soichi. Sakumi, Nagisa, are you two alright with that?
はい。
Yes.
はーい。
Yep. Sakumi, Nagisa, when you're done looking, head to this room over there and wait for us, whether you find the girl or not. We'll head there as soon as we're done searching. Soichi pointed to a part of the map and showed it to Sakumi.
わかりました。
Alright. Fumika saw Sakumi nodded and started quickly moving towards the hallway where Tezuka had vanished down.
急ぎましょう宗一君。早ければ早いほどいいわ。
Let's hurry, Soichi. The faster we are, the better.
宗一君、ふみかさん、気をつけてね。
Soichi, Fumika, please be careful, okay? Same for you guys. And so the group split into two.
これ、三剣さんたちに持たせてあげたかったですね。
I think we'd be better off giving this to Mitsurugi and Fumika. Sakumi had 3 small plastic boxes in her palm. They were the same kind of toolboxes for adding new software to PDAs.
仕方ないよ、さくみさん。急いでたんだし。
There's nothing we can do about it, Sakumi. We were in a hurry, after all. Nagisa poked her head out from a cardboard box and gave a wry smile. In addition to looking for the girl, Sakumi and Nagisa were also looking for anything that could prove useful. The area they were searching was much smaller than the area... the area they were searching was smaller than the area Soichi and Fumika were searching. So they had enough time for that. They didn't have time for an in-depth search, of course. But they at least could open up the cardboard boxes in the rooms. As a result, they'd found the toolboxes.
さくみさん、大変。
Oh no, Sakumi! Nagisa gave an shouted in an uncharacteristically serious voice. She stuck her head into a new box.
どうしたんですか？
What's the matter? Sakumi ran over to Nagisa. Nagisa's voice was filled with panic.
こっちからはこんなのが出てきた。
Look what I found! Nagisa pulled out a metallic lump from the box with teary eyes. The metallic object that fell to the floor of a heavy thud was a submachine gun. This is... Sakumi quickly understood why Nagisa had dropped it. She wasn't very familiar with them, but looked a lot heavier than the kinds of weapons that the protagonists of movies and animes just swung around like it was nothing. And the gun itself gave off an oppressive aura. A pistol was nothing compared to this. A pistol could at least be thought as a tool for protecting oneself, but this was different. This was a tool for killing, to hurt people effectively.
これもあったよ。
I also found this. Nagisa placed a metal axe down next to the submachine gun. It was colored red and white, the same kind of axe used by rescue workers at disaster sites. It was about 50 centimeters long and had a rubber grip so one wouldn't lose their grip when swinging it. They're telling us to fight with these, aren't they? Sakumi grew nervous when she saw the two weapons side by side.
どうする？さくみさん。
What should we do, Sakumi?
これも なものでもきっとうまく使ってくれるはずです。
Let's take these with us too. Mitsurugi should be able to use these well. But in the end, Sakumi wasn't worried at all. I can trust him to know how to use these.
ねえ、さくみさん。
Say, Sakumi? Nagisa spoke with a dead serious look on her face. Perhaps she has trouble expressing herself, as she regarded Sakumi's face as she carefully chose her words.
怒らないでほしいんだけど、宗一君がそれで襲ってくるかもしれないとか思わないの？
Don't get angry with me, okay? But, aren't you worried that Soichi might attack you with these? Huh?
これまで宗一君は協力的だったけど、追い詰められたら手のひらを返して自分だけ生き残ろうとするんじゃないかとか。
I know he's been cooperative so far, but if he's pushed to a corner, he might turn on us and try to ensure that only he survives, if no one else.
あのエースがジョーカーで私たちを騙してるとか、そういうことなんだけど。
Like, maybe that ace is actually the Joker and he's using it to trick us or something. Nagisa stared at Sakumi's face.
やっぱり怒った？
You really are mad, aren't you? Nagisa looked guilty, perhaps interpreting Nagisa's silence as anxiety.
いいえ、
No. But Sakumi shook her head.
どうやって説明したらいいかと思いまして。
I'm not really sure how to explain it. Sakumi smiled.
多分渚さんの言うようなこともあるんだと思いますよ。
I don't think what you said is entirely out of the question.
だったら、
Then,
でもそんなことはないって信じているんですよ、私は。
but I believe it won't come to that. Anxiety and dissatisfaction. That was what was carved into Nagisa's face at that moment. But Sakumi held none of that.
三剣宗一という人は私の信頼を裏切るような人じゃありませんから。
Because Soichi Mitsurugi isn't the kind of person who would betray my trust.
どうしてそんなに信じられるの？この世界はそんなに優しくない。誰だって裏切るのよ。
How can you be so confident about that? This world isn't so nice. Everyone's capable of betrayal, you know? It was the first time Nagisa had shown such an intense expression. But Sakumi wasn't fazed by it.
そうですね。私もそう思います。生まれてこの方、人を信じていいことなんて一つもありませんでした。
You're right. I believe that as well. Trusting others never brought anything good for me ever since I was born. Sakumi gently put her hand to her chest as she talked.
両親の事業は騙し取られて、家族はバラバラになって、親戚の家を転々としながら育ちましたけど、どこでも私は邪魔者で。
My parents' business fell apart because of a scam. My family split up. I grew up being passed off from one relative to the next, and I was a bother no matter where I went.
私にわずかに残されていたお金を取った後は、用済みとでも言わんばかりでした。
They got rid of me once they squeezed whatever money they could out of me, as if they had no more use for me.
じゃあ、なぜそんなに？
Then why do you trust him so much? Sakumi looked up at Nagisa with a smile.
三剣さんはずっと私を見捨てないでくださいました。怯えて逃げ惑うばかりの私をずっと守ってくださいました。
Mitsurugi never once abandoned me. Even when I was cowering in fear, and he protected me the whole time.
でも
But
はい演技かもしれませんね。彼にとって何か特別に意味のある行為なのかもしれません。
I know it could all be an act. Maybe it all has some sort of special meaning for him.
けれど多分あの人は弱い人です。私と同じように弱い人です。
But I think he's a weak person, just like me. Sakumi didn't hesitate. She remembered what Soichi had once said. That he couldn't leave her behind because she resembled a friend of his. That he felt he couldn't show himself to that friend again if he only thought of himself and abandoned Sakumi to get home. He hadn't done any of that. He helped her out not because he was strong. Nagisa continued to stare at Sakumi. It was almost like she was the one hesitating.
あの人は私を裏切れるほど強くはありません。だから守ってあげないといけないんです。
He's not strong enough to betray me. That's why he has to protect me.
私が怯えたり疑ったりしたらあの人はきっと深く傷つくでしょうから。
If I got scared or doubted him, I'm sure he'd be deeply hurt. Sakumi's words shook up Nagisa. She clasped her hands and stood still with a look of surprise. Then was she hurt too? Because I feared and doubted her? A faint memory of the past flew by Sakumi's head. Nagisa's head. The conversation just reminded her of those events. Nagisa pondered on their meaning once more.
そうだ、渚さん。この武器はともかく PDA につける箱の方は今使った方がいいんじゃないかと。
Alright, Nagisa. These weapons aside, maybe it'd be better if we install that PDA, the software to our PDAs right now.
渚さん、聞いてますか？
Nagisa? Are you listening? Nagisa finally turned to Sakumi when she called out to her for the second time. She twitched as though she hadn't realized that she'd been being called out to.
ごめんね、さくみさん。何？
I'm sorry, Sakumi. What is it?
ですね、この PDA に使う箱は今私たちが使った方がいいんじゃないかって思ったんです。
Like I was saying, I think we should use these boxes for our PDAs right now. Sakumi repeated herself with a wry smile. Nagisa then nodded a bit frantically.
何か便利なものだったら女の子を探しやすくなるかもね。
Maybe it'll be something useful that'll help us find the girl.
はい、じゃあやってみますね。
Right. Then why don't we give it a shot? Sakumi then looked at the boxes in her hand. Tool. Network phone 1. Tool. Network phone 2. 2. Caller search. 2 of them were the same. But since they were labeled number 1, number 2, Sakumi assumed they were a set. So Sakumi reached for the third one, figuring it could be used alone. Collar search. So, search for a collar? Is that it? Sakumi wasn't entirely sure what it did, but she decided it would better to find out than worry about it, and attach it to her PDA. Collar search. Function. Displays functional collars' current positions on the map. Battery consumption. Extremely large, but only when searching. Would you like to install? Yes or no? The screen that appeared when Soichi installed his own software, survivor counter, appeared on Sakumi's PDA. But the details were different. Shows that search for the current location of collars? Perfect! Sakumi hit yes as she realized this collar would be a huge help. Installing. Please wait for a while. Warning. Please do not remove the connector while installing. It may lead to damage.
早く
Hurry up, hurry up. The installation bar kept on moving forward. Once it was done, maybe everything would start turning in their favor. If the software had the ability to set it dead, then perhaps they should be able to find the girl while avoiding Tezuka. Installation complete. Please remove toolbox from the connector. Sakumi took the small box out of the PDA. She didn't look for her new software on her PDA. There was a star on her new function to guide her to it, so she was able to find it rather quickly. The same old map showed up, and then words appear on top of it. Would you like to search? Yes or no? Warning. Searching will consume a large amount of battery. Please be careful not to overuse. But Sakumi didn't hesitate. When her slender finger pressed the yes icon, search in progress appeared on the screen. And then she saw the battery meter go down a bar. Slightly go down the bar. How's it look, Sakumi?
待ってください。今
Please wait, I'm... Just then, several blips appeared on the map.
出た。
There, got it. Sakumi checked the blips' positions as she ran her finger across the map.
これが私たち。そしてこっちの2つが三剣さんと文香さん。ってことはこれは
This is us, which means these two are Mitsurugi and Fumika, and that means that this is...
さくみさん。ダメだわ。急いで三剣さん。手塚さんがもう女の子のそばまでたどり着いてる。
Oh no! Hurry up, Mitsurugi! Tezuka's almost reached the girl. There were two blips. Alone. One then was in front of Soichi and Fumika, and the other was just past the other one. Those two blips were practically on top of each other.
渚さん、戻りましょう。女の子は向こうです。
Nagisa, let's go back. The girl's on the other side.
待って、さくみさん。
Wait for me, Sakumi. As the two ran off, they heard the sound of a submachine gun fire from... they heard the sound of machine gun fire from far away. Soichi and Fumika sped up when they heard the rapid fire of a machine gun. And And when they started running, they heard another volley of gunfire. It was much louder than what Sakumi and Nagisa had heard, and it was a sound that echoed. That had a bit of a loud echo. They could tell from the sound that the gunfire wasn't too far away from them. Damn it, Tezuka!
無事だといいけど。
I hope she's alright. Soichi and Fumika figured that Tezuka had shot at the girl. He was up against a little girl. So they couldn't conceive any other possibility. They on their side the store? Just when Fumika said that, an alarm rang from Soichi's pocket. No way. Since it was only Soichi's PD that had rang, he got a bad feeling immediately. He pulled out his PDA as he was running. I knew it. His fears had been proven. Remaining survivors, 9. The screen cruelly displayed those words. Fumika, someone died.
遅かったってこと。
So we were too late? Unfortunately, it seems that way. But once they got to the room, the two of them found the most unexpected sight before them. There was a sickening stench of blood. That was the first abnormality they noticed. The stench was much thicker than when Soichi had gotten hurt earlier. I'm taking a quick drink break. Okay, back. Here we continue. The room was so small that they couldn't avoid breathing it. It made Soichi almost feel like throwing up. It wasn't long before he found it. Tezuka? Tezuka was leaning against the wall on the floor.
どうして手塚くんが？
Tezuka? But why? Contrary to their expectations, it was Tezuka who was covered in bullets and wounds and blood. Sorry. Rivulets of blood poured out of the many wounds on his body, and a large pool was starting to form under his feet. I don't understand. I don't get it. So was he... So that girl kill him?
かもしれないけど、相手は小さな女の子のはずでしょ。
Maybe, but he was up against a little girl, right? Judging from the blood splatter and trail, Tezuka had been shot in the room deeper in, then returned to this room before he lost all strength and collapsed here. The blood stains that started at his feet continued to the half-open door deeper in. The door was on the opposite side of the one Soichi and Fumika had come in through. Tezuka's submachine gun was lying right next to that door. He must have dropped it when he opened the door. Though Soichi and Fumika saw what happened to Tezuka, they still couldn't believe it. They still couldn't believe that Tezuka had fallen to a little girl.
死んでる。
He's dead, right? Should be. His PDA had shown 9 survivors. In other words, Tezuka should have been already dead. It was hard to imagine he was still alive after all these wounds and all the blood. Two of them nervously walked up to Tezuka. They only knew he was dead. They still couldn't get rid of their fear. These wounds are horrible. Their gruesomeness stood out when they got close. Lines of bullets were strewn around him diagonally all over. And not just one. The holes in his body, the bullet holes in his body weren't small. They were so big that they could tell where they were on his body and clothes. To put it bluntly, he'd been reduced to Swiss cheese. We should check. Soichi reached out for Tezuka's mouth as he said that, and Tezuka opened his eyes and let out a feeble voice. Tezuka! You're alive? Wouldn't it be better for you guys if I were dead so you could get home?
手当てをするわ。宗一君は話しかけ続けて。
I'll treat him. Soichi, keep talking to him. Tezuka struggled to breathe each word out. One of the bullets had probably pierced his lungs. It seemed it was agony just to speak. Are you guys dumbasses? I tried to kill you.
だからって放っておけないでしょ。
That doesn't mean we can that doesn't mean we can leave you alone. Forget it, girlie. After all these bullets, I'm a goner. Fumika started to treat Tezuka, but Tezuka was already at death's door. Tezuka! Hey, hang in there! I was tricked. Tezuka grabbed Soichi's hand. Tricked? What are you talking about? Blood spattered as Tezuka coughed.
止まりなさい。止まりなさいったら。
Stop! I said stop! Fumika desperately tried to stop the bleeding, but there was nothing she could do. You're too nice for your own good. Tezuka looked at Soichi and Fumika, and then down at his own blood-stained body. He smirked and looked at Soichi one last time. You wanna win, Mitsurugi? Tezuka, don't close your eyes. Stay with us. Listen, if you want to win, don't trust anyone. Don't trust anything. Not even the rules are absolute. His body then grew limp. That's where I fucked up. His grip on Soichi grew weak, and his hand fell to the floor. When it then crashed into the pool of blood below him, causing it to splatter around him. But neither Soichi nor Fumika knows that. Something else is absolute. That groan was his last words. Right after that, Soichi heard something beep in his pocket, but neither he nor Fumika could move.
やっぱりこういうことになってるわけね。
I figured it'd be like this. This is too cruel for a child. Soichi's throat was parched. Fumika nodded with a tense face.
さくみちゃんたちを連れてこなくて正解だったわ。
Yeah, we were right not to bring Sakumi and Nagisa along. Soichi and Fumika found the body in the room deeper in where Tezuka's had been, after Tezuka's had been. It was a girl not even 140 centimeters tall. Judging from her oddly cute clothes, she appeared to be a sweet, innocent little girl. Her body was lying face down on the ground, shedding blood. Now that Tezuka had dead and the survivor count dropped to 8, they knew without a doubt that this girl was dead. This was probably the girl they've been looking for. But though they'd seen it with their own eyes, they had a hard time accepting it as reality. But even so, that body exists in front of them as reality. They must have killed each other, huh?
多分そうなんでしょうね。
Yeah, probably. Soichi approached the submachine gun the girl was holding in her right, that was lying right next to the girl's right hand. She'd shot Tezuka with the gun, but then she'd been knocked over by the recoil. Or maybe she was shot first and then fired back. Either way, she dropped it when she'd fallen. There were several cartridges lying on the floor, and the scent of gunpowder mixed with the scent of blood. It was clear there had been a shootout in here. The girl's right hand twitched as Soichi was looking at her. When she did, her fingernails scraped across the floor with a noise. Whoa! She moved! Fumika, this girl's still alive! Soichi started screaming in surprise, but Fumika shook her head calmly.
違うわ、宗一君。この子はもう死んでいる。脈はないし、息もしていない。体温も随分低いわ。だから落ち着いて、宗一君。
No, Soichi. She's dead. She's got no pulse and she's not breathing. Her body's also cold. So calm down, Soichi.
死んだ後にも人間の体って動くものなのよ。
The body can move even after death. It can be due to the famous rigor mortis, or because of a chemical reaction within the body. Fumika then moved her hand away from the girl and stood up. She'd been checking the girl's body up till now. I see. Though he heard her explanation, Soichi's heart was still pounding hard. First Tezuka had died, now even this girl who had been apparently dead moved, so he was very surprised. She had nothing on her that indicated her name or identity. Fumika turned back to Soichi with a grim face. She barely bit her lip. It seemed she found the girl's death hard to accept. I see. He had at least been able to learn Karin Hojo's name. But he didn't even know a single thing about the girl in front of him, such as who she was or where she'd come from. She didn't have anything indicating those things. Also, she didn't have a PDA, just as I thought. The ones Tezuka had must have been hers as well. Though the girl had a collar, she hadn't had a PDA. It seems she'd gone to a gunfight with Tezuka after he'd taken hers. Then which of the ones... So that means one of the ones he had was hers? I don't know what PDA she had. There's no way of us checking now. Tezuka had been holding on to 3 PDAs, but 2 of them had been destroyed in the gunfight. The only active one he had left was the 9 of spades. The one that called for the death of all the other participants. Soichi and Fumika assumed that it had been Tezuka's own. When they thought about his actions up to this point, that possibility seemed very likely. Soichi and Fumika started going back the way they came in order to regroup with Sakumi and Nagisa. As they did, they talked about Tezuka and the girl. Their voices echoed through the hallway. Don't you think something strange, Fumika? Soichi did the math in his head. What is? The number of PDAs. It was the number of PDAs that Soichi found strange. What do you mean? Well, thing is... Soichi organized his thoughts and began talking. Here are the people who... 5 people have died so far. The man at the beginning, Hazuki, Karin Hojo, that girl, and Tezuka, right? Yes, that's right. Fumika did the own math in her head to confirm he was correct. It was just as Soichi had said. And according to Nagasawa, Goda took the first man's PDA. Yeah, he did say that. At first they hadn't been sure that they believed him, but now they'd been attacked by Goda. Both Soichi and Fumika assumed that were starting to believe that Nagasawa had been telling the truth. And we have Hazuki's PDA, while Reika has Hojo's PDA. Oh. Fumika finally understood what Soichi was getting at. The other two died just now. But we just found 3 PDAs.
数値が合わないわね。
The numbers don't match up, do they? Fumika grimaced. Or grimaced, however it is. She'd figured out the reason for that. It was clear that 2 of the 3 PDAs had been Tezuka and the girls. Then what was the third PDA?
考えられる可能性は2つね。
There are 2 possibilities I can think of. And they are?
1つ目は手塚くんかあの女の子が誰かから盗んだもの。でもこれは可能性が低いと思うわ。
The first one is that Tezuka or that girl stole from someone. That possibility is low.
私たちを除けば残る相手は郷田さん、玲香さん、長澤くん、そして高山という人だったわよね。
Aside from us, the ones remaining are Goda, Reika, Nagasawa, and that Takayama guy, right? Yeah.
その4人がおめおめと PDA を取られると思う？あの女の子にはそれは無理だと思うの。
You think those 4 would just let their PDAs get stolen? I don't think that girl could have pulled it off.
逆に手塚くんなら奪う段階で殺してしまおうとするんじゃないかしら。あの子を殺そうとしていた彼がそれを迷うとは思えないの。
But if it had been Tezuka, then he wouldn't have hesitated to kill them once he took it, right? Considering he tried to kill a girl, I don't think he would have hesitated. It was hard to believe the girl had stolen from one of those 4. And Tezuka would have had no reason to leave those 4 alive. No, and if Tezuka had been the one who stole it, one of those 4 probably wouldn't have a reason to still be alive. Then what do you think, Fumika?
だから私は2つ目の可能性が有力だと思うの。
That's why I believe the second possibility is the right one. What's that? Fumika hesitated for a moment, then started telling her answer.
壊れた PDA のどちらかがジョーカーだった。
One of the broken PDAs was the Joker. What? Soichi was surprised. But it all added up when he thought of it that way. Either Tezuka or the girl had been the owner of the Joker, and that PDA had broken in the gunfight after Tezuka had stolen the girl's PDA. That all made sense. However, then Fumika, that means you're... Soichi cried out in sorrow, but Fumika just smiled.
私も宗一君と一緒でここからは帰れなくなったのかもしれないわね。
Yeah, it looks like I might not be able to leave here, just like you. Fumika's PDA was the 6. In order to remove her collar, she required the Joker's function to be used several times. But now that it had been lost, there was nothing more she could do. There was just one thing. It didn't matter if it was Tezuka or that girl. All she could do was pray that they had used the Joker's function 5 times. Fumika.
そんな顔しないで宗一君。君と一緒になっただけじゃないの。一人きりなら怖かったかもしれないけど、宗一君と一緒ならそう悪くもないわ。
Don't look so sad, Soichi. All it means is that I've joined you. I might have been scared if I was all by myself, but when I'm with you, it's not so bad. But Fumika's voice was oddly calm. Soichi and Fumika met up with Sakumi and Nagisa in a place much earlier than where they originally designated.
三剣さんご無事でしたか？
Mitsurugi, are you alright? Sakumi? Sakumi and Nagisa ran up to them, out of breath. Soichi and Fumika also ran over to meet them.
文香さん、ソイチ君も無事でよかった。
Fumika, Soichi, I'm so glad you guys are okay.
さくみちゃん、渚さんも一体どうしてここに？
Sa
待ち合わせは向こうのはずじゃん。
Sakumi, Nagisa, what are you guys doing here? Aren't we supposed to meet up over there? Sakumi answered as she caught her breath.
その、実は向こうで PDA のソフトを見つけたんです。
Well, you see, we found a PDA software over there. Sakumi took out her PDA and showed it to Soichi and Fumika.
これ、インストールしてみたら、首輪の位置をすべて地図上に投影できるようになって、
Once I installed this, it showed the current position of collars, all the current position of collars on the map.
だから向こうに女の子がいないことも分かって、
Thanks to that, we knew that the girl wasn't on our side.
あとこのフロアには手塚さんと女の子以外には誰もいなかったから、それで
Also, there was no one else on this floor except Tezuka and that girl, so you came after us.
はいそうです。
Yes, that's right. Sakumi nodded.
それで女の子と手塚さんはどうなったんですか？銃声もしていましたけど。
So what happened to the girl and Tezuka? We heard gunshots. Sakumi's face clouded over. Since Soichi and Fumiko were the only ones here, it seemed that deep down they realized what had happened.
残念だけれど手遅れだったわ。
Unfortunately, we were too late.
そんな。
Oh no. Nagisa's face also clouded over. Her change was slow, but her reaction was greater than Sakumi's. She looked like she was about to cry. They killed each other. I see. Sakumi hung her head down a little. Though she'd been ready for it, it was still a shock to hear that the person she wanted to save had died.
私たちが少し早く行動していれば。
If only we'd acted a little quicker.
そんなことはないわ。直接手塚くんの後を追った私たちでも間に合わなかったんだもの。
That's not true. We went right after Tezuka ourselves, and we didn't make it on time either. Sakumi fought back her tears. Fumika cheered her up. Fumika sure is strong. Soichi felt himself impressed by Fumika's strength. Soichi felt himself impressed by Fumika's strength as he watched those two. Deep down, Fumika must have wanted to cry too. Her chances of removing her collar had greatly gone down. Soichi also believed that one of the broken PDAs had to be the Joker. Which meant that Fumika could only take off her collar if the Joker had already been used 5 times. But he knew it was a faint hope. And yet there Fumiko was, comforting Sakumi.
あ、そうだ。宗一くん。これを。
Alright, Soichi, take these. What is it? Nagisa held out what she was carrying.
さくみさんと一緒に見つけたの。
Sakumi and I found these. She held out an axe, a submachine gun, and two familiar small boxes. Soichi and Fumiga hadn't taken the girl and Tezuka's weapons with them. They were both covered in blood, so they were hesitant to take them. Thank you. Soichi gratefully took them. Will I have to use these in the end? The thought wasn't pleasant to Soichi. Especially after he just found those two bodies. Soichi also didn't overlook the tension on Nagisa's face. For a moment, the image of him splitting Sakumi's head open with this axe flew through his head. Soichi felt himself welling up with nausea. The images of the dead Tezuka and girl joined in with that. Before he knew it, he was crouching on the ground, on the verge of vomiting.
三剣さん、大丈夫ですか？
Are you alright, Mitsurugi? Sakumi looked right at him, her face contorted with anxiety and worry. I'm okay. I just got a little dizzy, that's all. Don't worry. Soichi fought back his nausea and stood up.
そうですか？
Really? Sakumi's concern didn't leave her face. Get a grip, Soichi. You won't be able to get her out of here safely if you stay like this. Yeah, sorry. It seems I just got a little too nervous. Soichi forced a smile. Sakumi's face finally relaxed when she saw that smile.
みんな、申し訳ないけどそろそろ行きましょう。休むなら上のフロアで。もうこのフロアが侵入禁止になるまであまり時間が残っていないわ。
I'm sorry guys, but can we get going now? There's not much time left until this floor becomes a forbidden area. In reality, if Nagisa's calculations were correct, they still had plenty of time. But they still had no guarantee that there were 9-hour intervals. And even if Nagisa was right, they could very easily run out of time if they came across some sort of obstacle. That was precisely why Soichi and Fumika had hastily examined Tezuka and the girl.
はい、わかりました。
Yes, I understand. Okay.
宗一君もいいわね。
Are you okay with that too, Soichi? Fumika looked at Soichi's face last. Soichi hung the axe at his waist and held the submachine gun in both hands and nodded. Gotta pull yourself together already, Soichi Mitsurugi. Soichi told himself that and started walking ahead, taking the lead. Alright, taking a quick water break. Alright, continuing now. Though they didn't have much time, in the end they didn't. Alright, see you later. Thank you for sticking around. Anyway, though they didn't have much time, in the end, the group had no trouble moving around. The 9 PDA that Tezuka had a function added to it that showed all the traps in the building on the map. And thanks to the color search function on Sakumi's PDA, the group's burn had lessened considerably. They no longer needed to fear running into traps, and they knew the positions of the others as well. In other words, they could discover danger before it hit them. Since it was the third day since they'd been trapped in the building, they hadn't been able to rest since the morning. They were starting to get exhausted. Phew, looks like we made it. Fumika placed her hands on her hips and breathed a sigh of relief once they found the stairwell leading up to the 5th floor. Her face was filled with exhaustion, but there was relief in her eyes as she looked up at the stairwell. I told you we'd be alright. I'm sorry, Nagisa. I'm quite the coward, it seems. If they really did have 9 hours, like Nagisa suggested, they still had a bit of time left. But there was no guarantee of that at all. It was all just a guess from what they'd seen so far. There was no specific rule about that. That kept Soichi's group on their toes the whole time as they've been moving, and they couldn't relax for a second. Like that for the 6th floor right away so we can avoid another situation like this. Fumika made that suggestion to Soichi. That's true. Besides, Sakumi and Nagisa can't remove their collars until the very end. Anyway. Soichi started heading up the stairwell as he said that. Once Sakumi and Nagisa got their collars off, they should retreat to a lower floor. Unfortunately, their conditions didn't allow them to remove their collars until the very end. We can use the 9 for now, so we're safe, right? Sakumi lightly shook her PDA as she pointed to the 9 PDA in Soichi's hand. Both of them they're using both of them for checking their own safety right now. There were no collar reactions around the 5th floor stairwell, and there were no traps either. The closest person to the stairwell was several blocks away. So they knew they could have a leisure conversation while walking up the stairs with no danger at all.
それに使える回数に限りがあるから残っているうちに行ってしまいたいし。
Yes, there's a limit to how many times we can use them. So I like to go while we still have that. While we still can use them. Sakumi used her collar search function several times on the way here. Thanks to that, her PDA battery had decreased significantly, and she just had over 10% left at this point. At this rate, her PDA will run out of battery in the near future if they weren't careful.
そろそろ休みたいところですけど、6階まで行ってからの方がゆっくり休めるのかもしれませんね。
I'd like to finally get some rest, but maybe better to hold that off until we reach the 6th floor.
お腹空きましたよね。
Are you guys hungry? Soichi and Sakumi climbed up to the top of the 5th floor stairwell. Now you mentioned I am hungry.
じゃあ6階に行ったら私がなんか作るよ。
They'll whip us up something once we get to the 6th floor. Nagisa followed them in high spirits. Fumiko climbed up the stairwell last with a smile on her face.
なら決まりね。ずっと休みなしで大変だけど、もうひと頑張り。
Then it's decided. It'll be hard to do without getting any rest, but let's just keep going a little while. A landmine? But Fumiko's eyes were caught. Well, no, sorry, but once Fumiko cleared the final stair, her eyes locked onto it. The other three were so busy, smiling and laughing at each other, they hadn't noticed it. There was a landmine right next to them. It had been hidden in the shadow of the stairwell's railing. And the light on it switched from green to red.
危ない。みんな伏せて。
Look out! Get down, everyone! Fumiko ran towards the three and pushed them out of the way as hard as she could.
やったか。
Did I get him? Nagasawa said that as he heard the rumble from nearby. He quickly operated his PDA as he said that. His PA screen had been showing several blips for a while now. Nagasawa had particularly been paying attention for the blips heading up to the 5th floor from the 4th floor. The numbers were many, so he assumed it was Soichi's group that was there. His PDA had 2 new software on it. The first one was a function that used the building's motion sensors to show any movement on the map. Because of that, he couldn't tell exactly who they were, but he could wager a guess from the number of people there, from the number of the group. The more there were, the louder their footsteps and voices were. The second function he'd also found with the first one, a remote landmine detonator. He'd set up the landmine right at the top of the stairwell, and detonate it while keeping an eye on the motion sensors. Come back already, you piece of crap. But right now, his screen was showing an error. Since he'd been relying on the motion sensors, it seems that the sensors had shut down due to the shockwaves from the landmine explosion. After a little while, the error disappeared, and the blips returned to the map. It seemed the sensors were finally back online. Tough bastards. There was more than one blip there. In other words, that meant several people were still moving. So I failed to finish him off. What a pain. But still. Nagasawa got up. He then carefully checked the weapon he had and his belongings and started moving. But it saved fortunately for Soichi and the others, there was a bit of a time lag between when the motion sensors had picked up Soichi's group going up to the 5th floor and when the landmine actually exploded. That was why despite having 2 software and all those tools at disposal, Nagasawa's trap had gone right immediately after they'd been detected. Thanks to that brief second, Fumika had been able to protect the rest of the group. Fumika! Soichi hastily got up to his feet and picked up Fumika, even though his ears still hurt from the sound of the roar of the explosion. Soichi, are you alright? Fumika's voice came out weak as she lay on her side. A sticky, lukewarm, unpleasant sensation spread across Soichi's hands as he held her. That lukewarm liquid passed through the gaps between his fingers and dripped to the floor. At first there were only a few, but soon they multiplied and spread across the floor. You're okay. You're okay, Fumika. No, I'm okay. I'm okay, Fumika. You saved us. I see. Thank goodness. Fumika's face was growing paler and paler. Her blood was currently spreading across Soichi's feet. Fumika, are you alright? Sakumi and Nikes also saw Fumika. Hold on a second. Okay, back. The two of them looked worried, but they weren't injured at all. Oh, thank goodness. I made it in time. Fumika smiled with relief. She was satisfied. Satisfied she managed to protect the rest of the group. That's right, you'll... Soichi stared at Fumika's wounds with dumbfoundment. There were several wounds, both big and small, etched into her body. She ended up taking all the wounds that would have gone to Soichi originally. The wound from her right flank to her back was particularly bad, and blood just kept gushing out of it. Anyone could tell that she was beyond saving. Guess I should have kept my guard up more. Fumika! Her cheerful personality had kept Soichi up despite his tendency to look to the worst. And now she was dying. That fact shocked Soichi to the core. I was the same as you anyway. So this is for the best. Fumika struggled to speak as her face twisted with agony. You need to watch your back, Soichi. Because now, it's all up to you. Right. Soichi knew that Fumika was only a short distance away from death. Her body went limp, and her body grew heavier in his arms. Yet something felt like it was getting lighter, probably because he knew she was dying.
ふみかさん、もう喋らないで。
Fumika, save your strength, don't speak. Sakumi was crying. It was clear just from looking at Fumika that it hurt her just to speak. Sakumi didn't believe she had any need to hurt herself any further by forcing herself to speak.
そうはいかないわ。私、おしゃべり好きだから。
I can't do that. I love talking after all. Fumika smiled at Sakumi and then turned to Nagisa.
渚さん、二人をお願いします。これからはあなたの力も必要になるはずだから。
Nagisa, take care of them. Your strength will be needed too from this point on.
わかりました。ふみかさん。
I understand, Fumika. Satisfied with Nagisa's response, Fumika turned back to Soichi.
ずっと君が何を思っていたか不思議だったけど、こうなってみるとよくわかるわ。
I never knew what you were thinking, but now I do. Now that I'm like this. Fumika looked straight at Soichi, her eyes showing that she was prepared to die. It was a kind look. That kind but powerful look shook Soichi's heart to the core.
こうなったら意地でもやり遂げなさい。守るはずのものを今度こそ守り抜きなさい。
At this point, you need to accomplish it no matter what it takes. Protect what you need to this time around. What? Soichi had no idea what Fumika was saying. No, wait. Soichi understood what Fumika was saying, and that's precisely why he was so surprised. How did she know about that? Fumika, how...
ごめん、宗一君。君の声がもう聞こえない。
I'm sorry, Soichi. I can't hear your voice anymore.
そうだ。もしさくみちゃんを最後まで守りきったら、お姉さんがご褒美にデートしてあげる。
I know. If you manage to keep Sakumi safe all the way to the end, I'll go on a date with you as a reward. She then reached her shaking hand out for Soichi's cheek.
坊や、お返事は？
What's your answer, kid? Fumika couldn't hear it. Couldn't hear him, so Soichi nodded. When he did, Fumika gave a weak but satisfied smile.
頑張りなさい。何十年かは待っていてあげるから。
Hang in there. I'll wait decades for you if that's what it takes. Right after that, Fumika's hand fell to the ground. Her eyes shut, and her body went completely limp. She then breathed her last as though she was sighing, and then she stopped moving. Fumika. In the end, her hand never reached Soichi's face. A bullet sprung up right next to Soichi. But even so, he couldn't move. Damn it, I only managed to kill one. However, Soichi did show a huge reaction to Nagasawa's voice and the alarm from his PDA. So was you, Nagasawa. His voice was so low that not even Sakumi or Nagisa heard it. You're the one who was behind that explosion, weren't you? So what if I was, dumbass? Nagasawa laughed and fired the automatic pistol in his hand. One of the bullets grazed Soichi, but he paid no attention to it. What drove Soichi right now was rage. Literally blind with rage. All fear and sorrow was driven right out of his body. Hazuki, who had died holding the photo. Karen Hojo, who had been shot to death. Tezuka and the nameless girl who'd killed each other. And Fumika, who died right in his arms. It was an unfair reality. This messed up game, and those who killed others to play along with it. The pointless deaths that happened one after another. Soichi was furious. Furious at all of it. Soichi knew how to fire his submachine gun. He turned off the safety. He'd seen how to turn off the safety and hold it from movies and TV shows. All he had to do was imitate them. He pointed the muzzle at Nagasawa. All he had to do was point the muzzle at Nagasawa and pull the trigger. But it was Sakumi who stopped Soichi. She ran out from the side and threw herself right in front of Soichi. She plunged right into him, knocking him off balance. And when she did, Nagasawa's bullet passed right through where Soichi just been standing a second ago. The two of them fell in a narrow area in the stairwell hall, which was in a blind spot from the hallway Nagasawa was in, meaning that the bullets couldn't reach him there. Nagisa also quickly ran in there. Get out of my way, Sakumi! Soichi tried to push Sakumi away, not caring that not realizing that she just saved his life. No, Mitsurugi! But Sakumi didn't move. She was desperate. There was only one thought, one emotion on her mind. To protect Soichi. It wasn't as simple as just protecting him from Nagasawa's bullets. Protecting his life from Nagasawa's bullets. Sakumi couldn't stand still when she pictured how much regret Soichi would be feeling later if he fired his gun in anger now. I can't let him shoot. I can't let him kill another person. Sakumi thought of when she heard Soichi. It was the anger he was feeling. Normally, Soichi would only fire a gun if he realized there was no other choice. Now he was being driven by anger, she couldn't let him do that. He killed Fumika! Please calm down, Mitsurugi. Soichi started lashing out from under Sakumi. Sakumi, weak as she was, it was taking Sakumi all her strength to hold him down, weak as she was. At this rate, it wouldn't be long before Soichi knocked Sakumi off of him and raided his gun again. What should I do? How can I bring Mitsurugi back to his normal self? Maybe I should surprise him? But how? Just then, Soichi's arms escaped from under Sakumi. He then grabbed at Sakumi. Get out of my way, Sakumi! I can't keep holding him back. Cornered, Sakumi immediately acted without thinking. She wrapped her arms around Soichi's neck and embraced him tightly. She then turned to Soichi's lips and kissed them. Soichi's eyes widened right in front of Sakumi. His body froze at that moment. Sakumi moved her lips away from Soichi once she saw that. Sakumi? What are you doing? Have you calmed down, Mitsurugi? Sakumi looked into Soichi's eyes, her face flushed. Oh. It was then that Soichi finally realized that he'd almost lost himself in rage from Fumika's death. It only taken a minute to calm him down. Only taking him a moment to calm down. That was just how unexpected Sakumi's kiss had been. The fact that Sakumi resembled his friends definitely played a part in it. I'm sorry, Sakumi. I lost control of myself. Though he knew she'd only done it in order to calm him down, he still felt guilty for making Sakumi kiss him.
いいえ、冷静になっていただけても構いません。
It's okay. I don't mind as long as it calms you down. Oh, thank goodness. Sakumi's heart filled with relief, but she couldn't take her eyes off of Soichi's mouth. What should we do? Soichi peeked out at Nagasawa, but Nagasawa shot at him when he noticed. Fortunately, the bullet didn't hit because it was blocked by a wall. But Soichi's group couldn't move from there. Perhaps they could run to the hall away from Nagasawa. But since there was no obstacles there, they'd have no way of protecting themselves from his bullets while they were running. His aim was surprisingly accurate. And what's more, they couldn't go back downstairs since they didn't know when it would become a forbidden area. How long are you gonna keep this up, Mitsurugi? I ain't got all day, you know. Just let the small fry come out so I can shoot him. Nagasawa shouted again, but this time Soichi showed no reaction to it. But he's not wrong, there's nothing we can do right now. Should I try shooting back at him? Soichi looked down at his submachine gun. He'd almost shot Nagasawa in rage before. Now that he was calm, he hesitated over using it. Soichi then remembered that Sakumi had been the one to stop him and looked back at her. She was still staring dazedly at Soichi, her face flushed. But she frantically composed herself when she noticed Soichi looking at her.
何ですか?
What is it? I was thinking of finding some shots to him to keep him occupied. If we keep letting him shoot at us, we'll probably get hurt before we can escape.
三剣さんにお任せします。
I'll let you take care of Mitsurugi. Sakumi then showed her usual smile. That told him that she no longer had any need to stop him.
宗一君大変
Soichi, we're in trouble. What's wrong? Nagisa shouted in an uncharacteristic display of nervousness. She was staring right back at him with a serious look on her face.
向こうからも誰か来たよ
Someone's coming from the other hallway. Nagisa pointed down the hallway that Soichi had planned on escaping to. What? Soichi frantically looked that way and saw a most unexpected person there. Takayama! It was Takayama, the man they'd met on the lower floor and promised to regroup with later. Nagisa started retreating after he was blinded by the smoke grenade. After he was blinded by the smoke, sorry. That smoke was caused by a smoke grenade thrown by the large man Nagasawa had never seen before. Nagasawa had just literally finished rounding a corner to retreat, just as submachine gun bullets came flying through the smoke. Nagasawa was right to have been cautious. If he hadn't retreated, he would have been shot down. He would have been hit just now by those bullets. What the hell is that guy? Nagasawa was angry that his overwhelming advantage had been broken. Soichi's group showed no signs of firing back at them, whether because they didn't know how to use guns or if they were just idiots. And then they'd lost any place to run, and Nagasawa had just been about to land the finishing blows. I just need 2 more. Nagasawa needed to personally kill 3 people in order to remove his collar. His PDA was the 3. But the large man's arrival had blown that all apart. The man had created a smoke screen in order to help Soichi's group escape. And it was also most likely him who'd fire the machine gun right afterwards. In the end, Nagasawa only managed to kill 1 with the landmine. The rest had gotten away. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I just need to kill 2 more, so no need to force a fight when I don't need to. Soichi's group had regrouped with the large man. Which meant that even if Soichi's groups were cowards and idiots, that large man would likely attack. It would be difficult to kill them with the large man on their side. Meaning it would be much simpler to take out 1 to 2 who were traveling on their own. no, take out the ones who are traveling on their own.
同感ね。
I agree. At that moment, something metallic fell at his feet.
Eh?
Huh? The object at Nagasawa's feet exploded right before he realized that it was a hand grenade.
私も無理してあなたと戦う必要はないと思う。
I don't think there's any need to force an unnecessary fight with you, too. But Nagasawa couldn't hear her words.
やっぱり壊れてしまっているわね。
It broke. I knew it. After finishing Nagasawa off with the hand grenade... No, after finishing Nagasawa off with a bullet, the girl, Reika, checked his belongings and found his PDA. But she wasn't disappointed by the result. She figured it would have been dangerous to take on Nagasawa in a close-range battle without breaking a PDA. That was why she ignored his PDA and decided to prioritize just killing Nagasawa while she could.
今回の戦利品は1台だけか。慣れないうちは仕方ないわね。
Hold on 1 second. So only got one prize this time, huh? Well, I'm not exactly used to this, so there's not much I could have done. She threw away Nagasawa's broken PDA. Reika had already acquired Fumika's PDA. Fumika had also been caught up in an explosion just like Nagasawa. But since the explosion had been facing her from behind, her body had shielded her PDA, meaning that it hadn't broken.
これで2台。この調子で無理せず慎重にやるのよ、レイカ。もう2人殺してるんだもん。絶対勝って帰らなきゃいけないわ。
This makes two. You need to be careful, Reika. Don't force yourself. You've already killed 2 people, so you must win and survive this. Reika started smiling with a scary look in her eyes. Her eyes were bloodshot. Her mouth was half opened. Her mouth was agape. And their strained features had grown even darker and more sinister. Soichi wasn't there, but Reika was no longer the girl that they'd met on the first day. Something in her heart had broken, and she'd gone completely berserk. Reika continued laughing. Her voice echoed off the desolate hallway. Amplifying its sound and causing it to echo all throughout the hall. Okay, I think we've reached a good stopping point now. So yeah, a lot happened at the end there. But, yep, I think we've reached the end of the stream this time. A lot happened. Gonna definitely be a lot more to come next time. We've lost quite a number of people already in this episode, 4 alone. And now, as you can see here, we are down to the last 6 already. Although, there's still a question mark here. Probably the girl that we didn't meet who died. So yeah, we still have, in addition to Soichi's group with Soichi, Sakumi, Nagisa, we have Takayama, Reika, and Goda left. So yeah, the game is coming to a... seems like it's coming to a climax sooner or later. At this point, we'll just have to see who wins this. Unlike usual, I'm not gonna... my next stream is not gonna be tomorrow night, but it will be on Thursday night instead at same time, 8 o'clock. So I'll see you all again there. So until next time, see you.